I'm
You said mailing Christmas cards?
I'm mailing them, not just emailing, but mailing them.
How much are stamps?
I don't even know. Probably, I think last time I bought them, they were like 43 cents. So think about it. You're at 50 cents ish for every letter you send. I've got some stamps that back when they were 15 cents, 10 and 15 cents, or we had 3-cent stamps.
Do stamps go bad?
Well, like if you still had 3-cent stamps, you'd have to put that many stamps on there. You could still use them.
Oh,
I
they
think.
have to. They have to
You'd
be
have
the
to
equivalent.
Yeah,
of
you'd have to have 10 or more stamps.
That's funny.
Because used to, when you bought stamps, they had a value like that, not that distant from now, but and so if the stamp prices went up, you'd have to go buy some 3-cent stamps or whatever. So say you had a 30-cent stamp, but now it's 32 cents to send a letter. You'd have to go buy an extra stamp or put 2 30-cent stamps on there, which you didn't want to do. So you go buy your penny or the 2-cent stamps. But now, when you buy a stamp, there's not a money value put on it, so that you can continue to use them even when the prices, if you still have stamps that you bought before they marked them up or whatever, well, you can still use them until they're all used up. So that happened, I don't know when, not too long ago, but.
What made you want to send paper like once? Just for fun?
Yeah, because we need to be getting letters from each other.
That's
The mail, you know, hard copy, getting letters.
Well, Grandpa was talking about that too. They used to play chess over the mail.
Yeah. And you know what, we were talking about this one day, that one of the things about that is when someone sends you a letter, you know they thought about you several days ago. That there's this thing going on where they're thinking about you and they pulled that piece of paper out of that card out and the whole process.
Yeah.
And then a week later, you know, or just faster, it used to be about a week, but it's faster than that. I get this letter with a note in it or whatever. And
It's thoughtful.
when I get probably 5 to 6 or 7, not many Christmas cards now, still, and I really like getting Christmas cards. Now, a lot of them are pictures of families, which that keeps me updated with pictures, but not necessarily.
Not like, well, it's cool too that handwritten letters I think are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Because even now, like, we give out cards in envelopes, but they're like Hallmark cards. So they're like pre-written.
That's true.
All you write is your name in it.
They're not your words.
You know, which is
You're right.
not even as cool as like if you, like you were saying, if you send out a real letter, it's premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
You thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you say has to be important enough that in a week it still means something.
It still means, there you go. That's a good point.
It's valuable.
That's true.
Because what you're saying isn't just like, I'm not just shooting you a text like, hey, I just saw a pigeon today.
Yeah.
That has no value.
Right.
And is just compulsive. And you just look at it and respond compulsively.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a genuine handwritten letter is like, here's an update on my life. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I love you. Hopefully you get this. And if you do, it better be valuable.
That's right.
Because I'm spending money to send it, even now.
There you go. There's monetary value put on it, but also that value of people are thinking about me, people care about me, someone just, you know, getting that in your mailbox instead of the junk we get all the time.
I think it's subconscious too. Like when you're handwriting something, like I don't want a bunch of scratch marks all over the letter.
Yeah.
I don't want eraser marks all over the letter. And most of the time I think we write in pen.
Yeah, anymore, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, well, I think even formally written letters are written in pen.
Yes.
You don't write in pencil.
No,
nobody does that.
Long ago,
So
I've got some letters
write,
that were written in pencil.
You write things completely.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
complete
true.
thoughts and you don't backtrack, or you just start over.
Yes, which I do a lot.
You know, but it's organized. It's calligraphy to a degree. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to have like letters that are all crooked and stuff. Like if you're handwriting something,
You want it clear.
you like it clear.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, one of the reasons that I have procrastinated for years about Christmas cards is that I hate to send a Christmas card without a note in it. Because like you said, happy holidays, merry and bright, which is a sweet message, but that's not me. So then you got the task of writing
Yeah,
that
you have to
note,
think
which I
about it.
like. Yes, and then and when I worked and I was tired, so that's been a change I'm going to do. And that, so every card that I send, I've written a little bit of a note that is personal.
Well, and I think that, I think we can look at it as how it bleeds into our education system as well. When you go fully online, things aren't as valuable.
That's true.
I click enter on thing, I could have copy and pasted it, and the teacher just checks it off if I've done it.
That's true.
That's half of my assignments. Nothing's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. It's all looking at numbers. Did you do this many assignments? Check
box. Mm-hmm.
Just did you do them? They don't even care what the content is.
Really?
No. Did you write something and did you respond to someone else? I was telling you about that earlier. Like, when it came to genuinely thinking,
Mm-hmm.
if I put a controversial idea down into we use Blackboard,
Okay.
into a thread, no one would comment on my idea. What they would do is go comment on the easier ones,
Mm-hmm.
and then write something very similar to that one, submit it, and all the professor looks at is, did you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you reply to someone? Here's your grade.
Mm.
And the professor's online too, and if we're going to be honest, if you're online, you're not sitting down and dedicating the same time to something that you would if it was in person.
No.
You're, check off, they did this, I'm going to go eat lunch
Mm-hmm.
somewhere nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not personal.
No.
It's just numbers. So it's not really the same type of education.
I
It's
agree.
not as valuable.
I've thought that, but hearing it from someone that's involved in it, yeah.
That made me really angry this year, because you're paying to have nothing. You're not paying for an education. You're paying for a credit.
True.
You're not paying. I didn't learn anything this year, and anything I would have learned, I would have taught myself. This really made me mad this year. I had an exam one week,
Mm-hmm.
and the next week my professor took a vacation in the middle of the semester. Then she got sick,
Wow.
and
So
when
she
she
wasn't
came
there.
back, she gave me an exam. She gave everyone an exam. Almost the entire class failed it, and you know what she said? People who genuinely do bad on this exam anyway. There was no curve. There was no grade change. There was no empathy.
She's just accepting that.
She's
instead
just
of-
putting numbers down. Like I
trying to
said, we
teach
started
it
with
differently.
25 people in the class.
Uh-huh.
It went down by the end of the semester as 8, and I know half those people failed the class.
So what class was this?
This was psychology, research statistics.
It's a major class
Exactly.
that we have.
That, and this professor teaches everything in the psychology department. Almost everything. From
Yes.
human development to research stats to writing in psychology.
That explains a lot.
And if you look up this, I told you, there's websites where you can rate professors.
Mm-hmm.
She has a 1-star rating, and she's teaching everything in our psychology department. But she's not teaching.
No.
She's either passing or failing handfuls of students.
Yeah.
At her own, on her own whim, as she's trying to. I know she's trying to leave, and the reason I know that is because in class when she would tell us about her personal life, she's smart enough. She would be writing her own psychology things. Like, she's submitting work. She's genuinely doing things outside of this,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mhm.
focusing on the teaching
Mhm.
part.
Mm-hmm.
In other words,
Writing
she
books and
doesn't
stuff.
care about how I do. Not really.
Not really.
She's focused on her own thing, and the school won't get rid of her, because if they get rid of her, they don't have a psychology department. She's single-handedly carrying that. She's one of the only professors in the whole department.
But that's because they don't want it to be different.